everyone, I'm Isabella.
And I'm Carmela, and welcome back to Johnny's Unleashed.
Sorry, I'm in a laughing mood.
Yeah, she started, yeah.
No, but as you may see,
For those who are watching the videos.
Yeah, of course. We're in another location. A new location. This one hasn't been seen before.
Yay!
And yeah, I think for now we've recorded in like 3 different cities.
All around Switzerland. French
Switzerland.
part, German part, Italian part.
It's been bedrooms, living rooms,
but libraries, rooms.
Yeah. Like anywhere, honestly. I mean, it works.
Kind of.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to find like places with like decent lighting. That's kind of our problem.
So we kind of try to set up like something.
Yeah. But I mean, it gets the job done. So that's good.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you guys can only see the inside of the room, but like you're technically going on a little Swiss tour with every episode you listen to because they're all recorded in different places. Yeah.
That's the consequence of living in 2 different cities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like living in a third city when we are home together during summer.
At least our parents live in the same city. Like imagine if that would have been even worse.
Like a mess. Yeah, so
at least like in summer
we were able to have like only one location, which was actually cute.
One city, not
one
location.
Also location.
Yeah, we also recorded at your house.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Not video,
but
audio.
But audio. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, it's a mess.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you live in 2 different cities. So
so in general, in your 20s, it is very like often that you find yourself having friends that live in different cities than yours.
Yeah.
Because it's just a phase of our lives where we're like figuring out where we want to live, figuring out where we want to study, figuring out like, you know, like not necessarily is the job that you want in the city you're currently living in.
Yeah.
And so you move for an internship, you move for a job, you move for your master.
So
infinite reasons.
Yes. Yeah. And or even just maybe you just stay in your city and you start a new path.
Yeah.
Like you start working, which is very different than studying. Yeah. I imagine. I don't know.
I mean, like the way your day is structured is definitely different.
Yeah.
You know, once you're done working, you don't like, sometimes we have to study in the evenings as well.
Yeah.
You don't, but so like the structure of the day is
exactly good. Yes. And everything brings to the theme of today, which is that all those transition we live in our 20s. She said it again. Why?
Transitions.
Transition.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So, all these transitions we live in our 20s create kind of challenges for our friendships because it's hard to maintain a friendship when you live in 2 different cities, for example, or when you have less time because you have a job or because you started your master and it may be harder.
Yeah.
And you need more time to study.
No, of course.
Yeah, you know, or maybe you started to work like part-time. So everything
takes time in the end, you know?
And everything which takes time,
you have to sacrifice somewhere else. Yeah.
To friendship. Sometimes. So
because I mean, in the end, unless you have like a hobby that you do by yourself, you know, you often spend a lot of your free time with friends.
Exactly.
And like deepening those friendships, doing activities with them, spending time with them, talking to them. And so, like, you know, it's like, there's a process of finding a new balance that is involved that could take a while. It could be really immediate and it could also take a few months.
Yeah.
But I think that the goal, of course, is that you want to work on maintaining that friendship.
Yeah.
But obviously there is a whole process involved and it might not be easy in the beginning because especially like if, for example, you just take us, you know, for my whole bachelor, I literally saw her every single day, whether I wanted to or not. Like there was literally, And so, you know, now aside from like the semester of exchange, it's now is the only moment where we won't see each other every day.
Yeah.
And like in order to maintain a friendship that, you know, maybe before I wouldn't even text her because I knew that I was going to run into her an hour later in that lecture.
Yeah.
And I could just tell her everything that happened to me in the morning. Whereas now I know that is no longer the case. So like if there's something that I want to tell you, I need to either like text you or like call you or actually tell you when we see each other.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing that I think that most people struggle with in these cases is that it's the tiny details that you miss.
Yeah.
Because now, for example, you know, I came to Zurich and we spent last night talking, but we talked about like all the bigger things, you know, that we needed to catch up on.
Yeah.
But all the small daily things are kind of what misses from the friendship.
Absolutely.
You know,
yes.
and I'm not going to send you like 10 texts a day, like, this happened.
Yeah,
this happened,
especially
you know?
given that we were not used to.
Yeah,
because we're not used to like text. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of,
and like it doesn't feel awkward for me to text, but it's still, you know, like obviously the friendship slightly adapts. And then I started my master as well. So in my breaks, I'm going to spend it with my new friends, like I know that you are doing. And so obviously you have to be aware that the time you dedicate to the friendship will be less.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, but like then you have to make sure that you are dedicating the right things to the friendship.
Yeah, enough to maintain the friendship and make it evolve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Because also, I mean, either living in a new city or starting a job or a new path in general, usually you meet new people.
Yeah.
So you have to manage like, okay, my old friends, I have less time for them, but I also have new friends and I have to split myself, which is hard. But yeah, it's like a process of learning how to communicate. It's very important to communicate. I mean, I have less time to do that. I have,
there has to be like communication and understanding from like
absolutely,
both perspectives. For like it to work, and obviously effort as well.
Absolutely,
you know, a friendship is never going to continue if both sides don't put a minimum of effort into it.
Yeah.
But then also with the concept of understanding that there are moments where one person puts less effort than the other, which is normal. You know, like we're going to have different projects and assignments at different deadlines, like, you know, like, or different weekends in which we do stuff with friends. Like it's obvious that like effort comes and goes and it's not always the same from both sides in every single moment.
Absolutely.
But I think that that's in the beginning, it can be kind of hard to wrap your head around because we as humans, we kind of get used to like having something a certain way, I think, you know? And so you get used to having a certain, like a friendship in a certain way. And then when that changes, it's hard to adapt, which is normal, but it is something that you have to eventually be like, oh yeah, okay, things are going to change, but how am I going to do in order to make this friendship stay?
Yeah. Something that helped us a bit is the podcast, because we are kind of committed to see each other. Yeah. I mean, we kind of have to. I mean, it's not necessary because as we tried a few times, we are able now to record like remotely. Yeah. Which is cool, just in case.
Nice plan B.
Yeah, nice plan B. But I mean, it's a good excuse to see each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you mentioned before, we are finding this new balance. But usually we take our time to like catch up before. Yeah. So that we are our like me and you time like friends. Yeah. And then it's more on a podcast level. So we take our time to record, to talk about it. And the same happened like last week, I think. We spent, I think, 1 hour at like calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and everything started with like 10 minutes info about the podcast. And then it went like on like live
level,
updates.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, it's cool that to have like a project together with a friend, and you know that is an excuse to see each other, but you have to, like you said, it can't just become that project.
Exactly.
There has to be like,
the danger is that then we might see just for the podcast, which is not the case.
Or vice versa. I mean, if you don't have a project together, you know, it's like I understand it's very easy to get caught up in your life at the moment, but at a certain point you do need to sacrifice something if you do want to maintain the friendships, you know, like, and like within reason, of course. You know, I know that you as well rearranged your weekend slightly because I came. But that is something that every once in a while you or I have to be willing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
In order to like put it forward. And I know that especially in the beginning when you start a new chapter, you want to do like everything. But like there has to be moments where you like dedicate time. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And like it's gonna be less, and that's okay, but both parties are aware of that. It's just that like there has to be a little bit of dedication.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. There's a limit where it's if it's below, it's not enough to maintain a friendship. Yeah. Speaking about attention or just details or sharing information, I mean, I cannot not update you at all for like 1 month because I'm gonna see you. Yeah. You know, I mean, for me at least, I need like a regular catch up.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think it's very different. I have a few long distance friends, And it's way different when you establish a friendship with distance and when there's this kind of transitions.
Yeah.
So you are like in the same, I mean, we literally saw each other like every day for like 3 years, and then suddenly poof.
Yeah, no.
So this is like
Yeah.
the transition that requires the most effort, I think.
And like I also have quite a few like long distance friends. I don't have any friendship that was born at a distance.
Yeah.
It's like become because someone moved, or like from exchange, or like I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But and obviously the way that I catch up with those people is slightly different. It depends also on the relationship that I have with them.
Yeah.
But there's also like literally some of those people live in another country, not remotely close to Switzerland. Yeah. Like I know that I can't just see them once a month.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's once a year, and that's perfectly fine with me. And then the monthly catch-ups are more like every 3 months you catch
like
up.
life updates.
Yeah. And that slowly happens over time, because obviously you as well, or at least me, I tend to dedicate a little more energy to the people that I know that I can physically see as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like, you know, if I have a free weekend, it's so much easier for me to come to Zurich, or like go back to Lugano, or organize something in Lausanne than like take a plane and fly to another country.
Absolutely,
you know.
Yes.
So of course you adapt, but I think that the more you also are used to like having friends in other countries that maybe live further away, or that you don't hear, you kind of like, it also prepares you a little bit more to these things.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody has that experience. No, and so for some people it might be a little bit harder than others, but it's something that you can definitely learn. And like, it is hard in the beginning, especially because like you're so used to having certain people around you. But I think you slowly realize that in the end, it's not the end of the world.
No, yeah.
You know,
you just have to find a way to keep the same contact as before, because I think it's kind of possible. I mean, I have friends from exchange, and we texted like a few weeks ago for life updates. You know, after the summer, after almost all we graduated, so it was like, okay, what are you doing now? You know, like love life, and how was your summer? What are you
like
doing
the
there?
big,
you know, like big topics. And then there's like I feel the need, I mean, personally I feel the need to have you like on my daily life. So if I see something interesting, or if I don't know, like someone tells me like something interesting or gossip, I just text you like right away, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of relationship we had before, and it's the kind of friendship I want to maintain.
Yeah.
So I know I'm putting the effort to do that. Maybe I'm just like from nothing, I just text you, okay, today this happened to me. And that's how I'm like doing my effort to do it. And I asked you to come here, you know.
Yeah.
So I managed to put you in my schedule. So yeah, I think it's on both way, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But it requires a bit of effort.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm experiencing it, and not everybody is able to do that.
No, it's hard because you think, okay, a friendship shouldn't be effort. But like, also, what, are you not supposed to be friends with someone just because they move to a different city? You know, like with friendship, with any relationship you have in your life comes effort to some extent.
Yeah, and if you think about that,
it's just a different type of effort.
Yeah,
you know?
But if you think about that, it's the same with siblings.
Yeah.
When you live in the same house, you do not really think that you're putting the effort, because you kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
And the same is when you see someone at school, for example, or at work. But then when something changed and you have to move, I mean, when we moved for uni, we had to put the effort to communicate with our siblings.
I think that was the hardest thing I ever did.
Absolutely.
Actually, I take that back. Me and my brothers still do not know how to text each other.
Okay.
But in the beginning, it was weird. Like, I never texted my brothers.
Yeah.
Ever. Because we lived in the same house and we saw each other every single day, and there was no need to, like, if I went on vacation a week,
I completely,
you know, like, I
had
no need
get
to.
It.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's a long work in progress still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely understand.
But I mean, we are the kind of family who, like, we updated at dinner, you know? Dinner is the
same
updating time.
You know, everybody sits and you talk.
How was your day? What's happening? And And then I realized that I lost like everything about my sister, because
Yeah.
I mean, when I moved, I didn't like call her, because
Yeah.
I'm like more, I call my mom if I have to call
Yeah,
someone.
I call my parents
And
as
then
well, mostly.
I was like, what's going on with your life? You know? So I was like, okay, I have to put the effort and like ask more often, maybe
Yeah.
call her. And the same now with, for example, my flatmate.
Yeah.
Because we were used to have dinner like every day together, and like, how was your day? And it's the same exact thing. And now I'm like, okay, I have no idea how like your
Yeah.
week is going, how you are going. And then you have to put the effort and maybe
Yeah.
organize a call, or can you come to visit me
Yeah.
in Zurich?
And it is a lot of work, because
Yeah.
in my case, I have to keep contact with the people who left Lausanne, and you with the people who stayed in Lausanne.
Exactly, yes.
Or also left Lausanne. Like,
also, yeah,
you know?
both sides, yeah.
And not only is that a whole thing, but then it's also like not missing out on all the new opportunities that you have, and all your new friendships. Like, of course you have to make new friendships in every stage of your life, you know? And so that's also where the whole understanding part comes in, because like, there's going to be moments where you are able to text more and text less and dedicate more time or less time, whilst also at the same time trying to live your life.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of hard, and it is a whole process of like figuring out like, okay, the balance of everything.
Exactly, yes. But the understanding, it goes on both ways again, because I mean, I hope that nobody is expecting me to come to Lausanne every weekend, because I mean, my new life is
and it would
here
be
right now, you know,
for them to expect
exactly
that. Yeah.
So I mean, I expect them, as you, like, to understand that now I live here and I need my like to spend my time here with my new friends here. So I expect you to understand, because it's necessary, I think.
Yeah.
But how I'm not expecting like everybody to come visiting me like every weekend as well.
No.
You know. So like, for example, this time, the first time Isabella came here, and then I went to Lausanne, and now she's here. So it's kind of balanced, you know.
No, it is, yeah.
So it's we're managing it pretty well.
No, of course, but I also know that I'm not the only one who will eventually come and visit you.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, maybe 2 weeks from now you have another guest. And, like, that's a lot to have people over on the weekend.
Absolutely.
You know? And so it's not like then I expect, you know, like, I'm well aware that you also have other friendships that you need to dedicate time to, and vice versa. And so, like, that's, like, there is also a process of understanding before. You know, before, like, literally I could see her every single day, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, it was almost too easy.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Yeah.
And so there definitely is work behind it. But I mean, I know that what worked for me is that I try to, at least what I share is kind of like the same things that I would share before.
Exactly.
You know, I really try to, like, obviously the small tiny details that maybe I would tell you during our lunch break are not, they weren't important before. Like they can be.
Yeah, like all the time you're like burnt something while cooking.
Yeah.
I will. Now I'm not aware about this information. I can live without it. Yes.
Yeah, but like, I think if something big happens, I will still tell you.
Yeah.
Like one of my like
probably, yes,
like incidents. What did I do recently? I don't know. I probably did something. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, we were on the phone like 2 weeks ago. Do you remember how I spilt all over my bed when we were calling?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that was But we were on the phone in that moment.
Yeah, it was live. So. Yeah. But I absolutely agree.
Yeah. And so you know, you have to share like the important things in your life, and you know, there was certain things that maybe were bigger. You know, like if something big happens in my life, I wait to see my friends in person if I want to talk to them about it. That is not always the case. Like, you can't just wait a month and just say no, but when I see them, I'm going to say everything. No, like there has to be some sort of update. You might say when we see each other, we can go even more in depth.
Exactly.
But like, you know, so I think like one of the main things is just trying to like give like a piece of yourself every time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So I think if some of you are going through a life transition, I think the main thing is it's important to understand what works for you. What is the link with the person? I mean, which kind of information are bonding, you know?
Yeah.
And which kind of connection you want to keep.
Exactly. Like what?
You don't have to expect that it evolves necessarily, because it's hard to make a friendship evolve like long distance. Yeah. I mean, it's possible, absolutely, but it takes more time, I think.
Yeah.
So just to maintain, we're talking about maintaining. To maintain, you have to understand what works for you and communicate like as much as
Exactly.
possible, I think.
And also, I think one other thing that might be hard is that you have to understand not only what works for you, but what works for the friendship.
Absolutely.
Because the way I communicate with my long distance friends really is different from friend to friend.
Yeah.
You know, like and it's not like an immediate thing, but after a few, even just 1 month, honestly, you can see kind of like what the pattern is, if it's going well, if there needs to be more like dedicated and stuff. But I mean, it's just like openly communicating as well.
Absolutely. And I think this kind of transitions make you realize how quality is way more important than quantity.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality of the time we spend together is way better than just spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think we see like each other for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we give the most we can.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the quantity is more there, like on a quantity basis, you really get to see the everyday life to life of your friends, which is also for some of my friendships has been really beneficial because it's made me fully understand them. But like that's kind of why, at least for me, it's hard for a friendship to like be born at a distance. Not saying it's impossible, but like I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
But like once you fully know a person, I think then it's also easier to like then push that friendship at a distance because, or like not at a distance necessarily, but at like different schedules.
Yeah.
And like you kind of understand, because honestly, like people that are working this year, they really do have a completely flipped schedule than I do, you know, but it doesn't mean that it's like impossible.
Oh, absolutely not. But you have to want it.
Yeah, you have to want it. And like you have to be exactly open to understanding and communication, and like not have insane expectations, because if you do, like you will be let down. And like you have to have sort of reasonable expectations within the friendship, because that's, I think, the only way that it can work.
I agree.
But it's not impossible.
No. So thank you guys for listening. We hope you liked this episode.
And see you next week.
Bye.